In their 38 NBA seasons, the Spurs have won 20 division titles and 5 NBA championships. They have made the playoffs in 24 of their last 25 seasons and have not missed the playoffs in the last 18 seasons. With their 50th win in the 2015-2016 season, the Spurs extended their record for most consecutive 50-plus win seasons to 17. In my speech, I will attempt to persuade you into becoming a fan of the San Antonio Spurs. There are 3 things that make the Spurs so successful: the legendary coaching, the cultivation of an atmosphere where players' desire to win puts the team first instead of themselves, and system above individual glory all make the San Antonio Spurs one of the most successful teams of all time. Ultimately, coaching begins with the system. Nothing else matters unless you have one. It's very hard for a player to be where he's supposed to be on the court if he doesn't have somewhere to be. That's not a problem in San Antonio. San Antonio's coach, Greg Popovich, has developed an offense that is consistently one of the best in the league. The Spurs run a beautiful type of team game with every player constantly doing his job. They use team ball to set up shots, and that is put in place by the coaches. The defense is no different. Once again, it's a team concept that rules the day. The Spurs coaching staff likes to have as many players in the paint as possible, keeping it packed and utilizing the most of the 3 seconds that they have. Each defender bobs in and out, maximizing the time that they can spend there. This sort of discipline comes from the practice and from deliberate coaching. The amazing thing about the Spurs is that they've had so much success in spite of the lack of perceived talent on the team. For a team without it, they have had an awful lot of it. There are no attention-seeking glory hounds on the roster, and there's no room for those. It helps that leadership from the owners down to the stars all buy into this philosophy. The system is what matters here, and the players all buy into it, in part because they are required to and because it works. Imagine a big clock with the big and little hands moving with absolute accuracy for years and years. Then imagine various people working with it and somehow swapping out the little gears and cogs without anything slowing down or changing. This type of system does not exist in any other professional sports teams in the world. The Spurs have not changed, and that is the essence of what makes them great. They have found a way to do things that work well and maintain the humility to work that way for a shared outcome. This collaboration of lottery leftovers and waiver wire waifs has had greater team success, but each individual has also felt better individual success because of this system and the outlook that they have. On the Spurs, the whole is greater than the sum of its parts, and each part has become happily greater because he has been content to merely be a part of the whole. There are no divas on this team because they have no place here. While foreign players were always respected in the league, they never came in abundance that they do now. Much of the increase of foreign play can be credited to the Spurs' use of a diverse roster who features players from all over the world. The Spurs have redefined the impact that international players have in the NBA, both with their stars and their stash of overseas talent. After such impressive success stories, this serves as an example which many teams are beginning to follow. This has helped basketball grow as a sport internationally. Players on the Spurs have a genuine affection for one another. There's a chemistry. This chemistry is cultivated by Popovich. With other coaches, the tough style that Popovich uses wears down players who eventually will leave the teams for others. But he has found success with this for the last 20 years because it blends his expert understanding and exacting style with the human side. President Theodore Roosevelt once said, "People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care." It's an apt expression to describe the relationship between Popovich and his players. The Spurs are a very well-ran sports franchise that has shown success for the past 2 decades. The culture that they put on display is among the best and is a great influence on young basketball players. The Spurs have not only changed the NBA, but changed sports on a whole. With these reasons I've provided you, I hope that you will truly consider becoming a Spurs fan. Thank you.